All right, it's Wednesday, and what the fuck? Let's talk about a new movie that's actually an old movie. Oh, yeah? Yeah, I know. All right, Shark Exorcist 2, directed by Donald Farmer. This movie has kind of been part of my. Well, both Shark Exorcist movies have been kind of part of my life since like 2016. Um, Going way back, I obviously knew Donald Farmer from the VHS era, and we became. I don't remember how we became friends on Facebook, but there was a lot of back and forth between us for a while over some stuff, and at one point, Wild Eye Releasing had reached out and said, "Do you want to show Shark Exorcist at your theater?" When I had the Anthony Wayne, I think I did Cannibal Cop for them as well, which was another Donald Farmer one. We didn't get a chance to do Hooker with a Hacksaw, but I remember I wanted to do that one as well. Wild Eye, I had a connection to them because of Eric Wilkinson, an old friend of mine, who's now at MVD. And Wild Eye sent me the poster, and I put the poster out front of the theater, and it was really funny because there's a lot of churches in Wayne, PA, so we would just periodically look up from the concession stand and see priests getting their pictures taken in front of the Shark Exorcist poster. Beautiful fucking poster, beautiful poster. I ran that screening at the Wayne, and I think the only people who showed up were my former Screenwave friends, former friends. 8-Bit Eric was there as well, who I'm still friends with. So he's not a former friend. He's still my friend. Um, oh, the tangled webs we weave. Time goes by, and Donald was doing Bigfoot Exorcist, which is, another fun thing Exorcist movie. And he asked me if I wanted to shoot the opening scene. So he kind of told me this is kind of where the story's going. We need something that's sort of like this. So I went out. It was March of 2020. It was myself. It was the redhead. It was the Italian guy. And it was the heavyset guy, but not the heavyset Italian guy. And we shot it in the woods behind what is now Screenwave Studio or Retroware, whatever they're called now. And I think it came out pretty good. Joe from Movie Dumpster did the gore effects on it and the guts, because the redhead girl gets her guts pulled out, and it came out really, really cool. I've seen the trailer for the for it being on sale, and that scene is heavily featured in it. That one had come out, and some time had passed, and Donald said, "Well, do you want to shoot a scene similar to that for Shark Exorcist 2?" And first off, it's fucking cool. That the Donald Farmers and that the Fredo and Rays and shit like that, like, even know who the fuck I am, because I grew up with that stuff. I grew up wanting to make those type of movies, and to get to add something to that canon is exciting to me. And also, the sheer fact that, like, Shark Exorcist got destroyed online. It just got fucking destroyed online by the red letter medias and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, but that just made more people want to see the movie, and so I knew that, like, I knew what the story of this one was, and it was exciting to me. Plus, it would be a chance to be involved in something with Jessa Flux, who I've gone on to work with a bunch and become friendly with. Even like the first one had Ronnie Jonah in it. Ronnie Jonah, I think, is a fucking super underappreciated, independent film actress. Does a lot of horror stuff, but like I was captivated by her in the first one, as the kind of the Zach Baggins type character. Some of this, it doesn't make sense at a lot of times, but I thought she had a great look, and the camera really dug her, and I was excited that she was coming back for this one. And so when it came down to it, and the idea was presented to me, I wrote this really complex opening that was going to involve myself, the Italian guy, and the redhead. It's like, you ever watch The State back on MTV? It's like the Jew, the Italian, and the redhead gay. They all live together on Avenue A. But yeah, so it sounds like a bad joke. It's like, never mind. But yeah, so it was gonna involve a lot of underwater filming and drones the redhead was gonna be out in the water and I'm up on the beach, and it was a lot like the opening of Joe D'Amato's Anthropophagus, Grim Reaper. Where I'm up on the beach and I'm not paying attention, and she's out in the water and she gets attacked by the ghost shark, and then I see her flailing and I go running, and it would be a lot of this cool underwater, like between her legs and like going towards her butt underwater and stuff going over top as I'm coming in, and cut very big. Like the whole idea was to make it look big and have big scope to it, and then it would end with her popping up as a skeleton, still wearing the bikini top and stuff like that. And it was kind of funny that like well after I got fired, because we filmed that scene on the Italian guy's birthday. It was August of 2021. It was right before all that shit happened with me. We filmed it on that dude's birthday, and I had all the shit still, the blood and everything still in the back seat of my car. So I had that skeleton with the bikini top on it in there for like a while before I threw the whole fucking thing away. Like months later, because I just forgot that I had all these props in my trunk. I was going through some stuff at the time. And then and her skeleton pops up in the water, and I go running, and the thing's chasing me. It'd be an Evil Dead style POV, and then I make it to the shore just as I grab for the Italian dude, and he pulls my arm. When he pulls it, it's fucking a bloody stump, and I still have the bloody stump in the other room because I used that for the Darby Screamhouse shoot that we did for Donald. So we shot this really cool, big opening title sequence for the movie, and then there was a second scene that Donald offered me, which was this kind of TV thing where there's a like influencer who must have gotten in trouble for something. So for her community service, she's doing these things for the town that the movie takes place in. And I thought about like Gary Coleman had to do like those safety VHS tapes, or like other people in the 80s who would get busted for something, and then they would have to go do like some public service thing. So I shot this other scene, and it was going to also feature the redhead because it was going to be a way for the character like to be a bigger character in it, even though she was dead in the first scene. So obviously all that stuff happens. I lose my job, I lose all my friends, all this kind of stuff, and then Donald was reaching out to them to try to get the footage, and they were like, no, we don't want to be involved in this, so all that was deleted. So I'm trying to figure out a way to put my life back together, and I hadn't been involved in anything remotely creative. Some would say I haven't ever really been involved in anything remotely creative, but he said to me, well, do you want to do that second scene, and so you could still be in the movie? So I talked to my friend who had the studio in Allentown that we used to film in a lot, and a lot of really good gear. And then I talked to Fallon, and that was the first time that Fallon and I had worked together since Satan's Slumber Party, the teaser we shot for this movie that never happened, that we were making for what was then Parade Deck Films, I think, and then it became Wow Now Entertainment or something like that. It was this guy Michael had me write this script for Satan's Slumber Party, which was a little bit of like Evil Dead and a little bit of like Sorority Babes in a Slime Ball Ballorama. I said at my theater, and then I wasn't at that theater anymore, but we found a theater up in Coaldale, Pennsylvania, which was like up in the Poconos of Pennsylvania, and it was this really kind of cool old school style theater. It looked very much like the 80s inside, so I went to get all that together. I put a poster together that Steven Sestelli did the artwork for, and then I shot a teaser trailer. Well, Joe Lascola and Ryan Hickey technically shot it. I just put all the stuff together, getting the people and all the stuff, and they shot it and they cut it. And it was this, in the movie theater, and there's like the Ouija board and the candles and beer bottles, and you kind of pan up a little bit through the fog, and you see in kind of this giallo style lighting these two girls in their underwear having a pillow fight, and it's all, there's a lot of hit to the chest, hit to the butt, and all that kind of stuff. And when they both turn their heads, they've got like fucking zombie faces, and cold air comes out of the wall, and their eyes glow and stuff like that. And Mr. Lobo, back when I was working with him, this is like 2016. We shot this. It's like, you know, Satan's slumber party. It's gonna be a hell of a night or something like that. So I think that's the last time that Fallon and I worked together. But we obviously stayed friends and all that kind of stuff. And she was huge, helpful to me because, you know, she also dealt with the internet coming for her because of some dumb shit that people did. So she knew what that was like and all. So, you know, so I'd asked her to come out and shoot this thing where we shot this fake, like, town ad and stuff like that. And then they told me Tim Ritter, who's a, you know, one of the kings of shot on video stuff, was gonna edit it. And that's another one. Like, we're like having a Donald Farmer in your corner, having a Ferlin right in your corner. You know, finding out that your thing's gonna be edited by Tim Ritter, I was like, fuck yeah, dude! Like, are you kidding me? You know, like little kid me, like renting, you know, shot on Shitty-O movies. You know, back in the day at B&C Video or West Coast Video or Couch Potatoes in South Jersey, like just like hook that shit to my veins, man. Like I wanted to see everything that I could possibly see when it came to horror and exploitation. And when I found out that, you know, even with Donald stuff, when you found out that like you could make movies, you know, with a camcorder, you know, it was like fucking the monkeys touching the monolith in 2001. Like the secrets of the universe started to open up to me, and it was like, oh, this could be done. Like they say, like I know that I did a review of the TNT Jackson series. Tim Ritter also worked on, and I used the term backyard filmmaker, and like one actor who was in that show got like super offended that I said that, and I was like, I don't see that as a negative term. Like I see that as a positive term. To me, I see that as a, like, I don't need a studio, I don't need anybody's fucking permission to go make my art. I'm just gonna go out and fucking make my art, you know, and there's gonna be little fucking weirdos out there who are gonna dig it, you know, and it's gonna live beyond me, you know, like Tim Ritter stuff, Donald Farmer stuff, Jim Wynorski stuff, you know, Roger Corman just passed away. His stuff, it's, you know, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And these are the kind of things that inspired me to want to, you know, write, direct, produce, act, whatever. You know, I got to have a really fucking cool death in Triple Xmas. Like, I dreamed about getting killed in a fucking horror movie. I grew up as a child of the 80s with slasher movies. You know, I was like, oh, how fucking cool would it be if fucking Jason killed me in a movie? You know? So that's why when I overhear people like, you know, even getting involved with Shark Exorcist 2, there was people I used to associate with who were just like, aren't you embarrassed? Like, why wouldn't you want to make good stuff? And I was like, it is good stuff. Like, it's, you know, eye of the beholder, man. And also, it's like, you know, that because of the first movies, you know, the reaction by the internet, second one's going to get a big reaction too. And I want to be there. I want to be part of that, you know? So Fallon came out, and it was the first thing we shot for the Schlock and All Films, essentially as it stands now. Even before I was shooting, you know, rambly videos in my kitchen at my old apartment. Now I'm shooting rambly videos in my living room, my new apartment. But we filmed like a little tag at the end of filming of just, you know, what we were doing and all that kind of stuff. And you know, I got to direct, and I got to write, and I got to light it, and obviously the guy whose studio it is did the heavy lifting. But it was the first time that, like, I, you know, with all that shit that was going on at that time, you know, granted, you know, it's no fucking secret. Like, I tried to kill myself 3 times during that period of time, you know, you know, so, like, to be there on a set and directing an actress who's, you know, done some shit, some real shit, you know, not my shit, but like real shit. And then for a movie that I knew people were going to see, and it sucks that nobody's ever going to see the original opening, because I was really proud of that one. I really was excited for doing something with a lot of kinetic energy and a grander scale. You know, I'm excited still that even like working with those people, you know, I'm excited for next month when Bigfoot Exorcist comes out, because I'm excited for people to see that and what went into it. And it was like just one day of filming and stuff like that, but like, you know, I tried to do some different shit and tried to like make it feel a little bit bigger than just, you know, it was a fake skull and some fake guts and a monster hand and a girl in the woods and stuff like that. I tried to give it something, you know. And I so I'm you know, that launched. You know, Donald was happy with that, and he was happy with Bigfoot Exorcist. He was happy with Shark Exorcist, the piece that I turned in. I wish I was able to do more. I hope you all have picked it up from Wild Eye Releasing, because I think that you know, it's just gonna be another cult classic, and hopefully there'll be a part 3, and I'll get to do something more for part 3. But it built his confidence with me, because I'm not fucking stupid. I know that, like, you know, aside from some of you people who are not hate watching, who actually like go, all right, he's kind of interesting. You know, for the most part, nobody would touch me with a fucking 12-foot pole. So it was cool to have the, you know, to have the backing of somebody who has, again, like Fallon, done some shit, and it gave me a little bit more confidence to be writing again and making shit again. And then we went on after, you know, we did. Bigfoot Exorcist, we did Shark Exorcist, and then I went on and I wrote the scene for Debbie Does Demons, which is where I met Brian Wilde and the Red Cup film guys, who I've worked with a bunch since, and that one already came out. That was through Culture Shock Releasing, and it fucking sold out like crazy with that beautiful slipcover with Jessa on the front of it and Roxy on the other one of it. Like, you know, that one I'm extremely proud of as well. And then from there it was like, all right, what are we doing next? And then the next one was with the Bad Movie Nights guys. We did Blood Bitch Baby, and Blood Bitch Baby I shot with Madeline, who I met while I was out making XXXmas. And Fallon came in to do that one, and that was kind of cool and different because it wasn't like comedic; it was more like moody. And Chris, who you know, shot it, you know, he got the coloring that I wanted, that kind of purple haze kind of vibe to it, and it feels more like I was kind of channeling more of like I wanted something very European and very like Jess Franco-esque and Giallo-esque, you know, so it has kind of this sexy but slightly askew vibe to it. And that one is coming out next year. And then that led to the scene we shot, the big segment we shot for Donald Farmer's Amityville Aliens, which, you know, again, went back to Delaware to work with the Red Cup guys, and Fallon came back out and did that one. And then we got Will Keenan as well, with Romeo and Juliet, and The Ghastly Love of Johnny X, and Law and Order Special Victims Unit. You know, dude's done a ton of stuff. And to have him come out was really fucking cool. And then I was supposed to be in it, but I couldn't do it. So Dan Blake from Trauma took the spot, and he did an incredible job. And I'm like so fucking happy that now, like, he goes, oh, I could be an actor, because he writes and directs and stuff like that. You know, those guys, a lot of those guys worked on Slaughter Beach, which I also did a review of on this channel, and I really like that movie as well. And then my friend Jeanette is in that one. She had a small role, and she used to work with me on stuff I used to do at Schlock and all. Now she's going on, and she's like, you know, like a commercial model and actress on like real stuff, you know. She doesn't need to slum it with me. But neither does anybody. Nobody needs to slum it with me, you know. I tell Mets all the time, I'm like, you're so much better than this, you know. But so yeah, so we did the huge segment in Amityville vs. the Galactic Samurai, for Amityville vs. the Galactic Samurai Schoolgirls, and then we shot this segment for Donald Farmer's Darby's Scream House. We did Darby's Dream Date, Dolltown Dream Date with Tony Goggles, who did Caddy Hack, which I also reviewed for this channel, which is also a Wild Eye movie. It's a big incestuous circle of film nerds, you know, a film nerd snake eating its own tail. But it all stemmed from Donald Farmer, you know, and that's really cool and exciting. And then you know, some of his other actors, I've worked with them on other stuff. Like, again, Jessa I did Triple Xmas with, and the lead actress from Hooker with a Hacksaw, I'm in her movie, Busted Babies. We filmed the scene when I used to run the Narberth Theater, so I'm in that one. And yeah, so it's cool to see how it's it sucks sometimes, the whole situation that revolves around this movie. It's never going to be like a happy memory kind of thing, but it's also a good, like, reminder that, like, some shit falls apart, some shit comes to you in weird ways, comes together, falls apart, but something new can come out of it, and I know our scene in Shark Exorcist 2 is small, but I'm really proud of it. I think that Fallon's fucking hilarious in it. I think she handled my dialogue expertly, because I don't write very easily. I write, like, a lot of puns and a lot of, like, tongue twisters for people to read, because I write the way I talk, so everybody winds up just talking like me. Newt, if you wrote it more to sound like James and less to sound like you still would have a job at Cinemassacre. But yeah, so that's kind of how Shark Exorcist 2 fell into our lap, was deleted, and then found its way back. So, I hope you guys pick it up. And I hope you pick up all the stuff that we've done for Wild Eye and for Culture Shock Releasing, and that I've worked on with Donald Farmer, and then I've introduced Donald Farmer to other people I've worked with. So, like, obviously Brian and those guys know him better now, and Robbie, who I wrote Strange Toys, Cold of Blood, Scissors, River Beauty with, so I wrote a bunch of movies with his company, Crude Cinema. He shot some stuff for Donald for another anthology movie, so that it's cool when you can kind of bring people together and then let them, their work be seen, and that gives them more confidence, just like this gave me more confidence going forward. And I know that Donald offered me 2 more projects. So I already started writing out ideas for those, but I'm excited to see where Shark Exorcist 2 goes. I'm hoping that when people see it, they do, mention our scene in a good way, but I'm more so just excited that it's out there. Like, people were at the Texas Frightmare this past weekend, and Wild Eye had a whole booth there, and the Shark Exorcist 2 poster was up there, and the Bigfoot Exorcist poster was up. We'll get Bigfoot Exorcist 2 eventually, I hope. Poster were up there, and then people were buying it before street date at the convention, and people were sending me pictures that they were buying it. So, I've been talking about it for almost 3 years now. So it's exciting that it's finally coming out, and I'm going to be just as fucking excited when all the other ones that we did come out, and I hope that people buy those and like those as well, and I hope that I can just continue to make fun, little schlocky, campy, fun things with my friends, and along the way meet new people and add new people to our our world, and when they want me to come work on their movie, like Brian asked me to come work on the book that so I went and I did that, and I got to shoot with Lloyd Kaufman that day. So there's little things along the way that are just cool and exciting as a guy who grew up loving these types of films. And if I was 12 years old and I saw Shark Exorcist 2 on the VHS, wall in the horror section, you fucking know I would be renting that movie. And that was kind of the guy who owned the Allentown studio. I think he's fucking brilliant, and and he gets the same types of films that I love and tastes that I love, and it's not about, you got a lot of these guys out there trying to make like A24 movies. Mine should be an A24 movie, and it's like, why? Like, I would much rather make money than win awards, because that money is going to lead to me making more movies, which is going to lead to, so that's where I am. Like, I said to the guy, the studio, I was like, I only want to make the kind of movies that 13-year-old me would rent, and that's kind of the mission statement I've been following. And I've gotten to write for a bunch of people. I have and shoot little segments for people over the last almost 3 years. Haven't got to do my own feature yet. Got to act in some people's stuff, like I said. But it's all building towards cool shit, and I think Shark Exorcist 2 is gonna is a prime example of something cool that the internet found, and maybe they wanted to make fun of it or whatever, but because they made fun of it, they just made it bigger. And getting to be a small part, just screening the first one, and people, seeing the poster and stuff like that, I feel like I'm part of that heritage, and then getting to contribute something to the second one, is exciting to me, and I'm proud of it, and I hope you guys all check it out. And yeah, that's it. I just wanted to kind of talk about Shark Exorcist 2, available now, through Wild Eye releasing, and then all the other ones will be coming out once I have street dates for those. I'll start putting them out there. This fucking it had a Japanese release. It fucking played in theaters in Japan. Like, how crazy is that? When at first I heard it was like there's like a shark festival thing that they're doing over there with a bunch of like Wild Eye type of movies, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. But then like I started getting like guys and gals on Twitter like who went to the thing, who were taking pictures and sending me things and following me on Twitter or whatever, and it's like, holy shit, like this is huge. Like this is something I worked on, played on big screens in Japan. Like that's crazy to me. Especially, when you think about where we started and all the shit that went on with making it to get it there is like, it's cool. Life, to quote Mark Borchardt, life's kind of cool sometimes, and I hope that this is the catalyst for more cool shit. And until like, my name is known for something other than the bad stuff, and yeah, so I appreciate everybody who's followed it up to this point. I appreciate Donald Farmer for letting me be part of it. I appreciate Wild Eye Releasing for being involved, for letting me be involved, and Fallon and Joe who had the studio, and yeah, everybody who was involved in it, and everybody who's kind of pre-ordered it and all that kind of stuff. So. Thank you, Japanese people. But yeah, that's it, man. I just wanted to come on and then chat a little bit about the history of my involvement with Shark Exorcist 2, and we'll do another one next month about Bigfoot Exorcist, and then we'll do one for Cold Blood, which is coming out, and Strange Toys, which is coming out. I'm gonna try to do. They're premiering in June. Those two are from Crude Cinema are premiering. Yeah, in June in Missouri, and then I'm going to try to get a Philly and a Delaware screening here for those two in July. And then, yeah, it's like there's like 9 movies I was involved with that are all coming out, and it gave me the confidence to write that stuff with Robbie, which then gave Robbie the confidence in me to turn around to the dudes who are making Scissors and go, yeah, you should bring this guy on. And then I wrote that, and then they offered me another fucking thing, so I'm writing that for them. So, and I'm not getting rich. I don't know. It's more than anything. It's scratching that itch of wanting to create something and tell a story and to make things with my friends and no egos, no bullshit. Just go out and make something fun and see what happens and see if people like it. And that's kind of where we are. So I hope you guys like it. Jess is amazing. Roni's in it, and I think pretty much everybody I worked with on Triple Xmas is in it. So that kind of shit's really cool, So yeah, that's it. That's this Wednesday. I just wanted to promote Shark Exorcist 2. I'll put the links down below as to where you can get your hands on it. I'm sure it'll be on Tubi at some point or something like that. And hopefully, Donald will do a part 3, and I'll get to reshoot the stuff I had to get rid of last time with new people, and we'll do it for part 3. Or we'll so much time has passed, I'll reach out to them and be like, you want to come back and do this thing? It'll be like when a band gets back together after hating each other forever. That's never going to happen. Those people wish I was dead, but still, never say never. All right, that's it, guys. Shark Exorcist 2, Unholy Waters, available now through Wild Eye Releasing. You can get it online through Amazon. You can get it online through Walmart and Target and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let me know if you got your hands on it. Let me know what you thought of it. Yeah, and then we got Where Sharky wants to do, and we got Cemetery Shark. A lot of shark centric stuff because it's huge in Japan. Hey, as long as he keeps asking me to do things, man, I'll keep doing them because I love this kind of stuff, and you guys are here. I figure you love it too, and I hope that. I hope websites tear it to fucking shreds and make fun of it and all this kind of stuff, and you dog on me, troll, whatever, dunk on me too, because it's like, whatever, it's just more people who are going to check this thing out, and hopefully that's going to lead to the next thing, what's going to lead to the next thing, what's going to lead to the next thing, and eventually just have a little catalog of fun schlock that we've all created, and it's more fun and precious because it's something that we made like with our own hands and as backyard filmmakers, which is not a negative term. So that's it. I'll stop rambling now. Bye.